Bonjour à tous, bonjour mes amis. So today we are going to continue with turn 5 of Strategos. I have decided I must penalize these guys for this false move of moving over the engineering unit. If I look at the rules on a false move, if a player makes a false move or a mistaken calculation of points expended, opponent may call upon the referee for correction as soon as the offending player raises his fingers. The referee finds the move was impossible. The piece must be returned to its original square and penalize the player 5 points, which are forfeit to the opponent. So the Union forces are going to begin with a 5-point penalty that is going to be forfeit to the opponent. So I'm going to take that out of his reserve, and I'm going to put that down here in the Confederate pile. And I'm going to move back these infantrymen. I think it was 4 direct that I moved these guys up. So we will be removing them, removing them, or removing them, removing them. Everything marches forward. The other thing that I wanted to correct, which I don't think I had thought about too greatly, was this continuous, look at this. Look at this. This is fine. These artillery pieces are fine. This guy is, he's more than 2 inches away. And now because of this penalty, that means that that artillery piece is also out of place. So let's take a look at the penalty that must be assessed for this. So 2 penalties. Artillery combat. Artillery cannot advance more than 2 inches beyond the general line of battle unless supported by one or both of the other arms. If it lacks the support, there's a 25 command point forfeiture to the other for each turn that this condition exists. So we're going to take 25 points. We're going to take this out. We're going to take this down to 27 out of his reserve counter. And we're going to move another 25 points down to here, giving him a grand total of 30 from forfeitures. Confederate player, begin your move. All right. The Confederate now must reconnoiter this. He's moving his cavalry on the oblique. He can move 5 inches, which will bring him easily to the shoreline. So we're going to bring him over here. We're going to have him assess the condition of this situation with a quick dice roll. Dice roll says 1. That's impassable. Again, there's no mechanism in the basic game for messengers like you see in maybe WRG or some other early rule sets, or even the advanced game. It's implied that messengers, because there's, I think, an item in table G, or appendix G rather, maybe in the volume 2. Anyway, these guys know it. So this is passable by any branch. This is passable by cavalry or infantry. And this is completely impassable. All right. So at this point, because it's impassable, this Confederate unit is going to be free to do other stuff next turn. What did I move that guy? So we're doing Confederates. We just moved him 5. Actually, he only moved about 3. So that leaves us with 47 to go. All right. Now, I could do a crossing, but I'm not going to. That would be silly to do like a spoiling attack. But I do want to stuff this whole area up. So I'm going to move these infantry guys to where they can actually fire upon this crossing point to get across. So they've got a range of 2. So they're at the edge. So they really need to move forward basically 2. So I'm going to move them forward 2. I'm going to shuffle these guys over just a skosh, easily within their movement. I'm going to call that 1. And then I'm going to move these guys 2. This infantry unit I wanted to bring online, but I don't know that I'm going to do that quite yet. These guys are going to stay kind of on the saddle of the hill. These guys, I do want to get them down there. Yeah, let's start moving this artillery up. Let's start creating a second line here, guys. 19th Arkansas Infantry Regiment is going to move forward. Looks like about 3, and they did not pass across this unit. This artillery we're going to move up. Not going to move these engineers. Don't have any, can't move fortifications. Not going to move my army commander yet. You know what? Yes, I want to put this artillery over crossing, covering this crossing point. So artillery moving on the oblique is 4. Got a second line covering this, so that's good. I need some infantry over here because I can shift him. I can shift him along the riverbank if I have to. Okay, so infantry can move on the oblique 3, but I can move direct 4. So I think I'll move him direct 4 right now. And that still leaves me plenty of options because there are no facing changes. Facing changes are subsumed within this rule set. This artillery needs to get in position where it can provide some support here. I think having this battery move left, which is a direct move, we're going to call that 6. So I can move him 6. So that's what I'll do. I'll do 3 direct this way, and then 3 direct to the front. He's kind of in overwatch at this point, kind of on the end here by these fortifications that also can provide artillery fire. Range on artillery is 3. So 1, 2, 3. I was reading about the advanced game. The artillery is considerably more distance than the advanced game. Of course, the purpose of the basic game is to teach very basic tactics to lower level leaders. Okay, everybody's moved except the commander. I don't need to move him. He's technically behind the second line of battle if we consider this the line of battle. And my entrenchments, oh yeah, I could start entrenching. If I get up here and entrench on this side, that'll really screw those guys over. How much time have I got? Okay, infantry. But I also don't want my engineers to get into trouble. So the way entrenchments works is for every turn that they spend, I can throw up another one of these fortifications. And I think I said that I was going to cover a half regiment of, in other words, a battalion of infantry. So I think I might start moving this dude forward. I can definitely screw them if I put these guys in entrenchments. But do I want these guys in entrenchments this far forward? Or do I want to move him back here and have him, it's kind of hard to get through now, I've blocked my way. I think that's what I really would like to do. What to do? Well, I need to do something. I need to do something. A good decision violently executed is better than no decision at all. Move him forward. He moves as an infantry move. And so he can move direct 4. That costs 4 points. It can't be helped that I should have done more infantry moves and things like that because I'm going to forfeit a ton, but then again I received a ton from the Union, so I'm not too worried. Okay, so 27 goes into the IOU. Oh yeah, I forgot to bring my IOU up to him. So my IOU for next time is 27. These guys get 2 from the old IOU. And that is it for the Confederate turn. Okay, here we go with the Union turn number 5. These guys start with 2 from the forfeiture. They get up to 52. They owe 13, so 13 is going to carry down here during the next phase. So these guys were at 0. I'm going to take the 13 out of their IOU and put it over here. He knows the state of that ford. He still doesn't know the state of that ford. We're going cavalry on the oblique for 5. Actually, it's more direct. He can move 7 if I go just direct across here. Am I going to try and force a crossing there with infantry? I could try to press him both at the same time. Coordinating a crossing there and a crossing there, I think is going to be difficult. Let's give it a go. So let's bring these 2 units on. I can bring the infantry straight forward, although this is oblique, so they can be brought forward 3. Although when I want to signal my plan, thinking meta, right? If I was actually playing an opponent, would I show him another unit at this point? No, I got to make him worry about where I'm going to bring those reserves on. So 3 brings us to 42. This guy can move and has to, in other words, to get that guy in support, because we just saw a penalty. The ref gave the other guy a penalty. I don't want to get the same kind of penalty. So I'm going to move. If I move oblique, I can move 3. 1, 2, 3. I think that's better. I think it's better if I move 3. So 1, 2, 3 puts him basically at the crossroads here. This piece back. Now he is that artillery unit. At least the flanks are covered by fire, if not the front square. And he is within another move of him, so I think that's good. 3 takes me down to 39. So I'm not going to move that guy. This guy is definitely not going to cross in the face of that artillery that can't quite reach me, can it? 1, 2, 3, it can if I am not careful here. I'm going to back these guys off. 1. Should we try an actual cavalry move? I think we could. I think we could and should. We've got the time to figure this out right now. So cavalry, if it's moving with its regular move, it costs 2 points per square move. And the way that it moves is much like a knight in chess. It does captures a little bit differently, but same principle. Where are we at with the move? Here we go. Cavalry move. So if you can see this, he moves on the diagonal 2 and then 1 directly north, south, east, or west. So that's a grand total. If I do this as a regular move, it's going to be 2, 4, 6 points to make this move. And I am going to do that. So we're going to bounce this guy back 2 points on a diagonal. Maybe it's easier if I measure from this corner. 2 inches on a diagonal, and then over 1 as a 6-point move, not a 6-inch move, a 6-point move for these guys, taking them down to 33. I still got a lot to burn, and I've got 5 minutes left. Okay, so we've moved, couldn't move, moved. Let's see, moved. These artillery pieces definitely can't move. I'm going to continue to get penalized unless I move him backwards into support. So I can move directly backwards, artillery 6 inches using a maneuver move, so that's only going to be 6 points. Now I could move artillery on the diagonal and it would charge me 5 points per. He's not in range of the enemy, so this is technically not a retreat requiring double the expenditure. So I could do up to 30 points I could burn through just by moving this guy on the diagonal for 6 regular artillery move. If I move him 6, it definitely puts him in support. And it burns 30 points and enables me to move on to the next turn. So I think that's what I'm going to do. That's going to be 30 points, leaving me with 3 points left to do. And I am going to start fixing this situation. So I'm going to leave my engineers here. I got to get those guys in support. So I'm going to move these guys up 3 direct, which will put them within 1 move, so there will be no penalty for this guy. Now, that's the 1st Tennessee Infantry, which includes one of my 2 standards that are on the board. It's 3 points. I got plenty of time. I could tap into another counter and restart the clock at 10. My next counter I would only have 27 left. I think I'm going to wrap that up for turn number 5. still in the advance into fire phase.